My name is Emmanuel Agwam, but most people refer to me as Obi. I'm an artist from Nigeria. I'm currently based in New York, Queens. Um, I'm a painter mainly, and I work traditionally with oil paint. And I'm doing an interview for 20XX magazine.
What were the first works you did, and how are they different from what you're doing now?
Mm. First works as paintings or drawings.
Either. You can start with either.
Uh, Drawing. I didn't start painting till maybe almost 2 years ago.
Hmm.
Literally in community college, I had a class where I had to paint, so that was the first time like I ever painted, and I didn't really start painting my own thing till like maybe last year. Like I've been painting and drawing for a while, but I didn't start getting. I didn't think that this would be a career until maybe last year. So like I'm very early into my career, like as a painter.
That's dope. So you're saying that you was introduced to painting because of this class in community
Yeah,
college.
high
Was
key
this?
I was forced because like I always drew,
Hmm.
but I never like painted with like a brush. I didn't even own any paint.
Yeah.
Like I always had like the digital. I would like mess around with that, but like I never painted for real. Well, I didn't know what painting was
Okay.
like until that class, and it's again just now I'm starting to realize what it means to me, like having a purpose with the artwork. So I'm gonna see what that takes me.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So let's see. I have another question. Do you see yourself in any other mediums of art besides painting
That's a
or
plan.
drawing?
That's a plan. Like high key as an artist, you can't stick to one thing
Mm-hmm.
because it becomes stagnant. And then as a painter, like we don't we don't get paid like that to be honest. So it's like you make one painting. Let's say you're a professional, right? You make one painting. Let's say you make three paintings a month. You gonna sell that at max like 2-3K. Like it might say it sells for more, but they cut taxes and all kinds of things. So if you want to live a certain lifestyle, you're gonna have to have multiple sources of income.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Like so, it's like plus it keeps the work interesting. Like especially like fine art personality is a big part of it because style is personality. You know what I mean? So it's like if you're staying in the studio painting every day, you're not gonna grow as a person. Your style's not gonna improve, and then the work is gonna become like stale.
So I think the main thing that you're trying to push is like evolution.
Yeah,
You're just trying to like
like
it
doing
changes
other
over
things.
time.
Doing other things is like what makes you grow as a person. I feel.
That's very true. Okay. Do your pieces come out initially how you first imagined them? So whenever you have a piece, like you have an idea, a vision in your head of what you're gonna do, does it come out exactly how like you start off with one idea? Does it evolve over time when you're painting it, or?
Hell no. Like not at first. Like at first, you like. I feel like everyone feels that way. Like you have an idea what it is in your mind, and then you do it, and it's nothing like that,
Mm-hmm.
and you get sad. You get sad as hell. Like that's like, damn, like that's not it. But now, what I do now, I sketch a lot. I sketch ideas, and then I develop those sketches,
Mm-hmm.
and then like similar to how an illustrator does it, I develop those sketches, and then I would transfer it to a canvas, and then I'll paint it out.
Yeah.
So like, sure, some things will happen along the way as I'm painting it, but for the most part, like there's not much thinking. Like when it goes to it, it's just me like putting out the colors I want
Mm-hmm.
because the sketch is already planned out.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. And would you say that it's an emotional process at all?
Mm, most definitely.
Like frustrated? Like do you feel any emotions within the process of like creating this art?
Painting, most definitely. It's almost spiritual.
Spiritual.
Yeah, I was talking to an artist about it named Reginald Sylvester.
Mm-hmm.
The He's a professional artist, and we were talking about it. It's like especially like when you go into abstract work,
Okay.
like these figures and these paintings and these strokes that you see, like it doesn't look like anything at the surface level, but you feel something. You know, like when you go to the MoMA and then you see a piece of work that seems super simple, it feels different there than it would be if you did it yourself. You know what I mean? Even if it's just like a square, and I feel like that's almost like energy, like that energy of like frustration or anything you're feeling. I feel like it goes into the painting and it translates.
I agree. I think art definitely transcends deeper than just like the physical. I feel like
Exactly.
I feel like most artists are supposed to make you feel something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay. Okay, another question.
Right.
3 different words you could describe the art that you do.
What did I do? Stars,
Stars.
teeth, and black.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on all three?
Stars.
Yeah.
Recently, I put stars in almost all my paintings because it's like I paint black people for the most part. Yeah, no, I only paint black people. I only paint black people, and I put stars because it's sending a message that we are stars. And we gotta believe that. And then teeth is because a lot of the paintings that people like are smiles, and I feel like everyone should smile, like even when you don't want to. So it's like that sentiment I carry into my paintings, and it's like the way it just feels satisfying to paint it right now. I probably might move on to something else later, but right now I like drawing. I draw a smile a specific way, and I like sticking with that. And then teeth is like I feel like teeth are very telling. It's like looking at somebody's shoes or looking at someone in the eye. Like you can tell a lot from someone's teeth. You could tell, like especially if they wear like grills or tooth gems or anything like that. You could tell like where they might grow up or like it gives people personality, you know.
So you also embellish on the fact that you like painting black people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how important are black figures in your work?
Crucial, like literally, that's everything.
Okay.
Because like if we don't tell the story, who else gonna do it?
Deep.
Like,
How did that first come about?
the first person who said that to me was an artist who passed, which his name was Jack Whitten. You probably seen his work in the MoMA and whatnot. He's traveled everywhere. We got an award from Obama and all that. And we had I was in a program where I got to visit him in the studio, and he was talking about the importance of telling our story. So it's like, if we don't, we're the only ones that could tell our story, and our story is important.
Accurately, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Our story is important. I feel like everyone should feel that way, and I should translate it to painting. So it's like, I kind of had the vibe with myself. Is like, why should I paint anyone else? You know what I mean? Like, if I get hired to paint someone of a different race, I can do it.
Obviously, yeah.
But like, regardless of my personal work, I'd rather the subjects be black people and no one else.
That was a beautiful answer. All right, cool. I'm gonna segue here real quick into hold on. What are some of the struggles that you deal with when making pieces?
My space.
The space?
Yeah, my space. Because like, I don't have like, I have a room now, but for a while I did not have a room. I was living around with family. Like, I was basically homeless, you know what I mean? So it was like, I had a corner where like I would have my paints and things. And then it would be like inconvenience for the people I'm staying with. Because it's like, oh, they don't want to be smelling like the oil paint. They don't want to be smelling these things.
Taking up space.
Yeah, and I'm taking up space. And I'm doing what I'm doing. And it's like, it got really frustrating. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I don't bother nobody. Like, I just make my paintings and I'm on my business. And it seemed like people were just hating on like when I'm trying to get started.
Would you say it was therapeutic?
Painting?
Yeah.
Nah, not even. Like, at that time, not really. I feel like now I'm starting to get there. A lot of people, like, even when they first start, it feels therapeutic. But for me, I never felt that way. It kind of just felt like cool. It was just like a cool thing to do.
Okay. Okay, I have a quote from John Michael Basquiat. Jean-Michel. Okay, all right.
That's my man's. He's Haitian, right?
Yeah,
He's Haitian. I'm Haitian too.
That's our elegant. That's how
Jean-Michel Basquiat. I have a quote from Jean-Michel Basquiat. Here it goes. Black people are never portrayed realistically. So how do you interpret that?
Yeah, that goes back to what I'm saying. Like, if we don't tell the story, who else gonna do it? So it's like, painters of the past historically either don't paint black figures, or a lot of times black figures are most of the time are portrayed as slaves or helpers in some shape or form, or homeless.
Remember blackface? How the portrayal of, like, you know, in the 1920s with I forgot what they were called, but the shows, like the minstrel shows.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm talking about even way before that. I'm talking like near the Renaissance era, like those oil painters back then. Most of the figures were white because it may not even been them personally, but the people who was hiring them was white. And you getting paid to paint white people because we ain't have no cameras. But like those who did personal work, some artists did personal work where black people were involved, and a lot of time they were slaves. And that might not be on them, because it's like they're depicting what was. You know what I mean? Like at the time. So like now as contemporary artists, that's not the narrative. We could change the narrative. We could create our own narrative because we as a people come so far now.
Yeah, we have. I feel like, especially in this decade, the last previous decade, I feel like social media has given us a voice. The internet has definitely given us a voice.
Yeah, exactly.
We're in an age where I feel like we're able to push out our art
Exactly.
to like, a level and access and stuff like that. We have connections that that most people, nobody was able to really have before.
Exactly. And it's like, let's say you want to be in a big gallery. All they gotta do is holler at you on Instagram or Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And nowadays, because back then, before you had to know the rich people to be a rich person.
Mm-hmm.
And if you black and you wasn't rich, it's hard for you to get in that space.
Mm-hmm. Very much so in a lot of ways.
Like,
and it's very, very, very apparent in like fashion, especially like black people are like the source of that culture and a lot of the vibes and the inspiration.
A lot of everything.
I feel like people of color in general just like fit in like that mold. Like they're
pop culture, bro.
Yeah, like pop culture.
Like,
very much.
Yo, Vince Staples said that shit the best. It's like, name one thing in pop culture that black people ain't have a hand in.
Yeah,
you can't. Like, you literally can't.
I have one last question.
What?
What is something that you would give to aspiring artists out there? What is a piece of advice that you would give to aspiring artists? From your experience.
If you concern yourself with the money and accolades and then compare yourself to other people, it's just gonna hurt you. Cause like, and study, like you like the best way to grow with artwork is study. Like, people ask me like how I seem to get better every few months. It's because I'm literally studying, and it's like, it's not even like I'm painting all the time. Fool. Like, it's not even like I'm painting like every single day. It's just I'm studying. Like, when you study and you see other artists, it inspires you to switch it up to get better. Like, it pushes you. Like, especially if you're not in school, you're not going, like, in school, the push would be the other students. Because, like, you see somebody doing this shit, it's tight, like, yo, I'm trying to get like that. And then y'all elevate that way. But if you don't have that, the only thing you can do is study. Like, if you see a Basquiat, a Witten, a Kerry James Marshall, Jordan Castile, you see these artists, they're going to, like, be at where they at. It's going to it's going to motivate you to look for something more. You know what I mean?
Like, what would you say, like, you pull a lot of your inspirations for that, like, your studies? Where does that come from? You can, like, name drop some people, honestly, some styles.
Honestly, like, I'm trying to get out there. Like, I go to shows. I try to go to shows. Like, now I have an app on my phone. I was telling you about it, like, a while ago, where, like, they tell me the shows. So, like, I try to pull up and I try to talk to people in like, these galleries. And I found out a lot of times to get into these spaces, you literally just have to ask. Like, the closed mouth doesn't get fed. So, like, I go there and I ask them, like, yo, what do I need? They're like, oh, you got to graduate and then do so and so. They'll tell you. Like, for the most part, most people are agreeable. Like, they may look snobby because they're in a suit and they just came from Soho with their little coffee meeting and all that nonsense. But, like, if you ask, they'll show you a way. And it's just like, right now, I'm at the place where, like, I want to focus on getting school done and to see where I could pivot myself. Also, like, I want to, like, maybe do clothes, maybe do movies. Like, I want to do a whole bunch of other things besides just painting.
Word. Sounds good. Well, we thank you for joining us for the interview.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate it so much.